one more time. Hello, I'm Dennis. Welcome to my channel, Life, Home, and My Linux Journeys. In today's video, or this journey, we're going to continue with the Debian Linux, and we're going to install Debian Linux. We're going to use the Calamares installer via the live ISO. So let me go over to my desktop here. Bring up a web browser. And again, this is Debian Linux. We went through MX Linux based on Debian, Mint based on Ubuntu, Endeavor based on Arch, and now we're on Debian Linux. Click on that. You can see the same information here. All kinds of architectures available, as well as desktops and window managers. Go to their Debian.org homepage. Here's where we got the net installer. Just click on there and it's going to try to install the net or download the net installer. In this case, I'm going to use the live ISO. Try Debian Live before installing. Now, I could click here and go ahead and get my XFCE desktop, but I chose to go to live torrents. Come down here and download the torrent and use a torrent handler to download it. So I've got it set up in my VirtualBox here. I give it 8 gigabytes of RAM. I'm going to change the processors here. Processor to 4. Speed it up a little bit here. Say OK. This is EFI enabled. 8 gigabytes of RAM. 4 cores of my processor. Let's get it started. Now remember, this is the live session. So live system, we're going to say OK. And for now, I'm going to go right Control C. Get us in the scaled mode. Whoops. That's not scaled mode. There we go, that is. Which I can probably come right out of that as soon as we get into the desktop. I'm going to go out of it right now. I'll change the display when we finally get booted up here. There we go. Connection established. Let me go to settings, display. And we're going to get rid of that. Select 16 to 9 is not available, but 14 by 9 is. Say apply, keep it, and close that out. Okay. So the installer is on the desktop. This is the XFCE desktop. Let's go ahead and click on the installer. We're going to mark it as executable. Double click it again. And that starts the Calamares installer, or Calamares installer. Correctly selected American English for me. Here you can read Debian support, some known issues, and the release notes. I'm going to say next. Did not correctly select my time zone, but I just did. I'm in America, and the time zone is the same as in Chicago. Say next. Keyboard, I always recommend a test with a couple of symbols. Yep. Say next. And we're going to manually partition this disk. This is EFI. New partition table. We're going to get a GUID. Say OK. There's our disk. Create. First one here will be 512 megabytes. Uh-oh, numlock's not on. There we go. 512 megabytes. File system will be FAT32. Mount point will be boot EFI, and there is a flag, so we'll say boot. There we go. Next, we're going to create a swap space. 8192 megabytes will be the same as 8 gigabytes. Linux swap, no mount point. Down at the bottom, there is a flag. Select swap, say OK. Free space. Now, you can divide that in any way you want to and create a separate partition, as in a home partition or as in Windows a D drive, but I'm not. We're going to select all the remainder of that, and there won't be, yeah, there's a flag for a root. Say OK. All right, there's our partitions. We're ready to go. Let's go next. Name and a password. And we're not going to log in automatically, although if you're new to Linux, you may want to do that until you get more familiar with it. So let's just say next. Here's a summary of everything that's going to happen, including the time zone. Say install. Okay, so once again, I am on my Debian machine, and I've been running Debian for quite some time. Let me see if I got my script running here. I bet I do. Yeah. So I installed Debian on here February the 19th of 2024. On this machine, I've been running Debian for, what, 5 months on here. And no hiccups, no problem. I did adjust my swappiness, although I didn't have to. We're using X11. 0 indicates here that it is a SSD. Been using it for 6 months at least on this machine, and I do have another machine that was running Debian long before that one was, or is. This one is. The biggest thing you're going to find is the hassle to try to find your download. Hopefully I made that a little more clear here. They need to work on this and get this to work. It wouldn't hurt to have some nice cards in the Calamares installer. Now this Calamares installer would be the same whichever desktop that you chose. It would automatically have those packages, and it would be installing them like it is here. This is for the XFCE4 desktop. Let's look in our menu real quick. Under application menu, we got the regular settings stuff. Under accessories, we got the app finder, bulk rename, clipboard manager, Debian reference. Let's click on that. What is that? Do I have that? I do not. Do have the Debian package installer, Debian reference. Huh. That's interesting. Huh. First time I've seen that or noticed it. Multilingual terminal, screenshot, sensor view, task manager, TIE X terminal, Thunar file manager, X archiver, XF burn. Education, we got Golden Dictionary. Graphics, we got LibreOffice Draw, Ristretto image viewer for looking at pictures or photos, images, and Xane for a scanner. Firefox ESR, which it just opened that. Under multimedia, we got Xfalso, Pro Media Player, Pulse Audio Volume Control, and Quad Labay. XF burn again. Under Office, we got the full suite of the Office or LibreOffice, as well as a document viewer. Nice. Under System, we got Install Debian, which that will disappear. The terminal again, print settings, sensor view, Synaptic Package Manager for a graphical way to install packages. It's more of a text image. It's not really you don't show you an icon and all that kind of stuff, but where software store will. Task Manager, Thunar File Manager, Xterm. Let's open it up. I'll show you what I'm talking about. The software, you should read this. Click close. But you can see it's like terminal stuff. Let's see. Let me see. It'll show us that. Yep, see, it's terminal. It does give you a readout of what it does, but it's just don't have like icons, pretty stuff. Removing packages, so we're getting close. Okay, we finished the installation. I'm gonna untick restart now, say done, and I'm gonna go up here and say shut down, shut down. Let's see if it removes the ISO. Yep. It's waiting on me to press enter. All right, let's start it back up. There's our grub. Sign in. Give it my name and a password. Click log in. Let's see, settings, display. Let's change that again. 1440 by 900. Keep it. Close. Okay, so there we go. We're booted into XFCE. We still got probably every program that we just looked at. Yep. Education, the dictionary, LibreOffice, the internet, Firefox. Yep. So that's the XFCE desktop with the Calamares installer. I'm going to go ahead and power this off. Yeah, might as well shut this down. Go back to my front view there. All right. So that was XFCE, or actually that was Debian Linux using the XFCE desktop. It's using the Calamares installer. Now to me, that's a lot easier, primarily because I'm more familiar with it. Like I've said before, most Linux distributions are going to use the Calamares installer if they use a GUI to install. Not all by no means, but there are, I'm going to wager say most distributions are going to use the Calamares installer. It's just what people are familiar with. Okay, well, that was Debian Linux. I appreciate you guys watching. Give Debian a chance. I promise you, you won't be sorry. Peace out. Talk to you on another video. Bye.